Hey everyone, hope you're well. I said I was going to do a video during the week last week and then I didn't do one, and that is because I absolutely messed up with my routine and my meds and my schedule and everything, and just fell apart a little bit. It was absolutely ludicrous. I can't believe it happened, and it's only today that I've actually rang the doctors to sort it out and fix it after days of thinking it'll be fine, I'll fix it, it'll sort out. And yeah, it's all a bit silly. So to kind of go into the story properly, there's two bits to the story actually. There's bits that are fine and there's bits that weren't fine. I had my review for my ADHD meds the other day. They moved me up to the 70 micrograms, milligrams, whatever the word is, the 70 mg, the maximum dose, and it's working really well. It's been great, feeling good, no dips, no problems, no this, no that, the other. It's all just working fine. There was a conversation I had with the doctor where I made a bit of a mistake because she asked me how I was feeling with them, and I said, yeah, really good. I said, to be honest, like, it's been really euphoric realizing that all the things that were ADHD that I just thought were me, not being active, not being into things, not being, G'd up. I said I'm buzzing with how much stuff I can get done, how happy I am, how busy I am. And she was like, "Can I just confirm?" She was like, "What do you mean by that?" And I said, "I'm just in a really happy mood because I have been feeling low for a long time, and I am just able to, I've written a comic with Bex. I've started the Best From videos with Kev. I am working on, we're getting ready to do the comic takeover, the game jam. I'm potentially doing a podcast. Well, I am doing a podcast for it, which I'll talk about in a bit. I've been more active on socials. I've been more active just in general. I've got so much work done at work. It's all going really well. I'm doing the business course that I'm doing just out of interest. I was like, yeah, I'm just absolutely buzzing by how delightful that's all been. And she was like, okay, phew. She's like, I thought you were telling me that you were high and that you've been getting like speed effects from being on these. And I was like, well, what does that mean? And she was like, no, like what you described is not that. You'd be like, floaty and mad and like you're at a rave. And I was like, okay, no, I haven't had that. So she was like, okay, because that would have meant we'd have had to like take you off them and reverse it all. And I was like, well, no, it's definitely not that. I then double checked after the call. I Googled what are the symptoms of what does speed do? What are the symptoms of your tablets working versus not working? And I'm firmly in the working camp. So that's good. But then in the call, she also said to me, how are you getting on coming off your antidepressants, anti-anxiety tablets? And I said, well, yeah, I spoke to the doctor. I told them what I wanted to do. And then I followed their plan. So I said, what I'm doing is I'm taking a tablet and then I'm going a day without taking it. And then I'm taking a tablet and then I'm having 2 days off. And I said, I got to the point where I'd done one tablet and then gone 6 days without taking one. And I said, if I'm honest, I had a bit of a tantrumy hissy fit after the podcast the other day, like about a week ago. Didn't go down very well. Was a bit foolish. Was a bit of an idiot because I overreacted. Like we were trying. It should have been a calm adult conversation, and I just got upset and was like properly tearing up and silly. And then I was panicking about it all weekend, thinking, "Oh my god, what an idiot! Why did I do that? That was foolish," and all of this. I then spent the week just kind of going. It's basically the Wednesday after that, I'd spoken to her and I was like, look, I just feel like I've been progressively feeling worse to the point where it's just weird. I don't, I took one and then I just wasn't really changing. And she said to me, well, first off, if you were to pick a way to come off the tablets, that's literally the worst way you could possibly have done it. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, like, we don't recommend coming off from cold turkey, but if you come off from cold turkey, it's like, okay, you ramp up and then you either are fine or you ramp up and you change your mind very quickly. She said, you're supposed to half your dose down from 10 to 5 and then see how you get on and move it back up if it's bad, move it down again if it's good after a period of 2 to 3 weeks. Just cutting it to 1 on, 1 off, 1 on, 2 off, so and so forth. She was like, you're just stop, start. That's not helping anything. You need to go back to at least half dose now, immediately. I think on the Thursday, I actually forgot. I'm not even sure what I did on the Thursday. No, I think I broke one in half Thursday. I had a bit of a faff trying to get them to break in half. So Thursday, Friday onwards, I've been taking them in half. So I'm on day 5 of having half tablets. and it is not working. Like, I've rang the doctor. I made an appointment with the doctor this morning and just said, I put a note in just saying, I just need you to up this from 5 to 10 again. They might not even ring me. They might just do it. I just need them to do it because I wasn't going to get any more tablets after this month. My naive thought process was that 30th of March or whatever it is, we'll be mid-March, 20th of March, I would just run out of tablets and not take them again. But I was like, no, definitely not. Like, at this point, I don't even think I've got that many. I think I've got like 10 left. And I was just like, at this point, I'm not gonna last the 10 days of taking it like that, like without it being a problem. I need to get back on the 10 just because that was at least a platform. Like, it's not even that high of a dose, but it's enough to take the edge off. And when I can take the edge off, I can rationalize myself out of it. But I was genuinely in a point where, like, I just felt like I was annoying everyone. I felt like everyone thought I was a pain in the ass, and I felt like everyone just thought I was annoying, irritating, talk too much. I mean, I do talk too much, but, you know, too involved, too there, too like, oh my God, will this guy ever just get lost? You know, I felt like everyone was grumpy with me, or everyone was a little bit tired and fed up. And it kind of got worse over the weekend. Like, I tried to keep my head down, tried to keep myself sort of to one side, the odd tweet, that kind of thing, but nothing too major because I just didn't want to be annoying. And then Sunday night, I was supposed to be doing a Mario Kart tournament, and I was very much like, oh, I'm not really in the frame of mind for this. I shouldn't do this because I'm just, you know, I'm so annoying and all of this. I ended up getting to it about like a minute late, and Nintendo started it. If you start a tournament online for 7, it starts at 7 no matter what. If you're logged in, it just starts, it rolls. You don't really get a choice. I didn't know this, so when I turned up at like 1 minute to 7 and was setting up, I was trying to get the stream ready and trying to get everything else ready, and they were like, we've started the first race. And I was a little bit like, I don't know, I think part of me, if I'm really honest, was a bit like, oh right, okay, you know, I guess I'm right, kind of thing. I guess all my negativity, you know, not rationally, not on purpose, not because I genuinely believed it, but because I was feeling a little bit like, oh, all right, I got here. I was probably like 3 or 4 minutes before 7, but I was a bit like, I was trying to set up the stream, put the tweet out, get it all ready. I didn't know it was a 7 o'clock hard start. So then I'm setting it all up, and I'm like, is race 1 still on? And they're like, oh no, we've started race 2 now. And I was like, again, thinking they'd manually done this, I'm like, well. So I was like, well, I might as well not bother. Like, we're already 2 races into this, like, 10 race tournament. You know, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to be very competitive anyway. So I felt super like, oh, God damn it. And then it turned out that Nintendo were forcing it. And I didn't know that. And the person running it, Rika, she jumped out of it, and I thought this was because I had a little whinge. Like, I hadn't had a major whinge, but I had like, oh, what's the point? Like, I might as well just go in spectator mode and film the tournament and do it like that. So they jumped out of the tournament, and then it wouldn't let them back in, and they had to restart the whole thing and all of this. They were trying to fix the problem. So we started another tournament, but then that caused hiccups. It went a bit wrong. I think it wouldn't let us start at 7:15 or whatever. It wanted us to start at 7:30. So we were going to do half an hour of, 20 minutes of faffing around. So then when that finally started again, it wasn't quite right, and it kicked someone out, and it went around. I was like, this is all because of me moaning. I can't believe I came in and moaned. I was the one who was late. You know, I'm convincing myself I was the problem. So then we were like, let's just start a friend lobby and play in there. And we played there for the evening. We had our tournament. I came last. I'd like to pretend that it was because I was feeling all depressed and mopey, but I think it was just because I'm rubbish at the game, and everyone else said it was really good. You know, I didn't always finish last in the races, but overall I finished last in the tournament. But it got to the point where the tournament finished, and I felt like I was just quite dejected at that point. And we played for a little bit longer, and then I sort of said, oh, I've got a headache, I need to go, and I just went off. But I think at that point I was just absolutely like, I wrecked this. This is kind of, I derailed this, and I felt really, really sort of guilty. So I spent sort of Monday moping around, not because of that, but just in general, because I just felt low about myself. And it was only like, I don't know when it was, some point between Sunday and this morning, I was just like, hang on a minute. I think I messaged like Matt and Bex and just said, I've not been about much because I just feel a bit low. And they were like, what's wrong? And we had a chat. But yeah, I think I just realised all of a sudden, I was like, hang on, you've been messing with these tablets, and yeah, maybe that's what's causing all of this. Maybe this stuff isn't real. Maybe you're right. So yeah. Today I've asked them to up it. I've asked them to sort it. I'm doing a video. I thought I'd do a video about it because I'm thinking that a lot of you are probably going to go through this at one point or another in life, where you feel like everyone thinks a certain way, or would be better off without you, or that you are just taking the space and annoying everyone, and you should hide away and whatever. And yeah, I just want to make the point that I'm acknowledging that isn't real and that isn't true, and that it's just the fact that the chemicals for these tablets are just slightly unbalanced at the moment, which is, yeah, I hate being beholden to them. I mean, I was chatting to Claire on the phone about an hour ago, and she was saying, well, maybe if you rode it out, it would fix, like it would like balance out off them. And I was like, I don't know if that's the case, to be honest, because I think what I assumed was like because the anxiety is still gone. I think the more depressive I was feeling about everything, the more I was getting signs of maybe tenseness, and so my chest was feeling a bit tense, and my neck was feeling a bit tense. And since acknowledging it and facing it a bit today, they've sort of calmed down. I'm hoping once I'm back on the proper amount regularly, that'll go away. But at first, I thought that was something else. I just assumed that like dull feeling was something else entirely. But yeah, it's been a I was gonna say a fun 5 days. It's been a ludicrous 5 days, and yeah, I'm glad to hopefully be turning the tide on it and getting rid of it, because that was a big dip. Yeah, I feel a bit silly in a way as well, because I feel like I was like going up with the tablets, and then I've just kind of gone for no reason other than, they told me to come off them, but yeah, they didn't tell me to come off them that quickly and that messily, and I just don't think I need to come off them anytime soon. I think I'll just give it a few months and then come off them at a time when things are all right or whatever, happier times or something like that, so I know I get a few boosts from it all. So anyway, yeah, that was silly. Speaking of happier times, I have got a very busy weekend coming up. Kev and we're doing a podcast Friday night, and then I've got to go straight to bed because I've got to be up at like 6 to drive to Kev's. Kev's driving us to Birmingham Airport, and then we're flying out to Barcelona. We're doing Best Thing from Barcelona for Saturday and Sunday. Sunday afternoon, we're going to see, I think it's Barcelona versus Valencia, something like that. Barcelona v someone at the new Camp Nou, and that's going to be fun. Like, I can't believe we're going to see Barcelona play. Like, that's mind blowing. I feel a little bit like, what? That's cool. That's very cool. We're going to do some bits and bobs Sunday night, and then Monday we're flying home, I think, in the afternoon, I want to say. I've forgotten the itinerary already, but the itinerary, we're going to film, and then come home. And I've got Monday off to come home in, hoping we have no hospital stops, hoping we don't get pickpocketed. Everyone keeps telling me pickpocketing's rife in Barcelona, and I'm super nervous now in the back of my mind, thinking I might just bring my wallet with only my ID and my debit card in it. It's got like an RFI protector thingy, so if I bring that and my phone, they're the only things I walk around with on me. We all know my phone will be in my hand because of Pokemon Go and the mapping. I've already sorted out my phone bill. My wallet, if I lose the card, I'll immediately cancel the card on the app, and I can pay for stuff on the app still. Or Kev can just pay for stuff and I'll pay him back, It's not the end of the world. I was sort of thinking it's fine. If I lose either of them, really, the phone's locked, everything's backed up. The only thing I'd be disappointed about is probably the mild inconvenience of having to sort it all out. I guess I'm not going to lose anything. I'm looking at it now thinking the Pokemon are safe. The pictures are all safe. The apps will literally back up from the cloud. I might just back it up before I go. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I'm not worried. It's all good. To be fair, if they're going to rob one of us, they're going to rob old Moneybags with all of his cameras and gubbins and stuff. He's going to be walking around basically as a pigeon, cooing away to himself, waiting to be robbed, isn't he? If I keep an eye on him, we'll probably be all right. When I went there last, I was literally chatting to someone in the queue while someone tried to take their watch off their arm. They were talking to us while trying to strip the watch off my friend's arm, and he was just like, what are you doing? So I have had direct experience of this. After Barcelona, I've only got, it's not that long. It's about 5 months until we're going away to the Canaries. I'm very excited about that. We've got the passport sorted this weekend, and we've been just looking at stuff to do there. I also had a meeting last night with my friends to arrange. We're going to Norway at the end of the year. I feel like this is ridiculous. I haven't really left the country or the house much in the past 3 years, and suddenly I'm going to Spain, the Canary Islands, and Norway in the space of like 9 months. But it's something we discussed when we went away to Spilsby, Lincolnshire. We went 45 minutes from my house last time, and then we were like, let's go to Norway next. So we had a meeting last night to discuss that. I need to save up for all of this. This is like, it's a big year. But it's a big year, and I'm good at segues at the moment. It's a big year because I'm doing all these projects. I'm doing all this work. I've got lots going on at work. I've obviously got a kitchen to cover. The kitchen's being delivered and installed at the end of March, start of April. We've got all that faff going on at the moment. But I've also got loads of massive stuff going on. And I mentioned this last video, but we've had some updates, some clarifications. One of the things is obviously April is Autism Acceptance Month, and the ACH always do a big project for that. So that's where they brought out Sensory a few years back. We wrote like a sequel to it last year that we're going to kind of build on this year to try and pitch. And the idea is that that'll be another book that goes out and be as good as Sensory was, as successful as that's done since it's been published this year. And I'm excited about being involved in that. I'm hoping some of the comics I've pitched will make it in. I've got one I pitched that I'm hoping if she likes it, she'll want to work on it with me. Bex will work on that. I had one I was writing with a friend that was more for their benefit. They wanted to talk about one from a medical point of view that affected them. I don't know if we're doing that one at the moment, but then I've also got another one I wanted to do about the misconception that autistic people aren't funny, because most of the funniest people I know are autistic, and there's a lot of misconception about them not being able to do a sense of humor, not being able to understand comedy. And I want to be able to say, hell yeah, they do. These people are hilarious. So I'm trying to work out a way to make a very short comic about that. On top of that, I'm also taking part in the Game Jam. Yesterday, I was formally invited to be part of the group arranging it, because we hadn't realized that I was just in that group and I was just talking as though I was already part of it. And it was funny because I suddenly realized that was happening and thought, okay, don't panic. You're just doing the thing you've been doing all week of feeling like you're imposing yourself and you're in the way and you're not welcome. And as I was writing, by the way, am I even part of this? Sorry, I feel like I've imposed myself. Bex wrote, we've never actually asked you to do this. We're just stealing your ideas and your help, kind of thing. She was just like, we haven't even asked permission for you to help us with this. Like, do you want to help? Do you want to be a formal part of it? And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. That was easy. So I'm part of that now. I was already going to be part of the game making process, but now I'm part of the planning of around it. So like last year, we're going to make some games. There's going to be a theme. There's going to be a thing. People are going to make games. They're all going to be put together in a bundle, and we're going to try and raise some funds for whatever with it and go forth from there. That's all got to be ironed out. I also have the task in that, which I'm working on, and I'd like some recommendations. I can't promise I'll invite everyone who's recommended, because there's only limited slots and all this kind of thing, and I need to juggle it all. But I'm going to be doing a podcast. It's going to be like half hour a pop, where I basically interview autistic people who have like exciting, good, solid careers, like inspiring careers, just good, decent jobs. You know, being able to say to them like just questions. You know, how does it affect you? I haven't written I need to write a formal questionnaire, and then I'm going to be like, you know, so tell me about, you know, when did you first learn that you were autistic? And then we'll talk about that for a bit. And, you know, the idea is that we'll get to the point where they're like, so what do you do for a living? And they tell us about their job, and then I ask them whether that was a job they knew they wanted to go into, whether it was a job that they fell into, whether it was a job that they ended up going because they needed to make adjustments, and just understanding how that job suits their needs as an autistic person, and what advice they might give to other people who are autistic and also looking for work and also might want to pursue what they do. And I'm going to write that all out formally. But I'm very delighted and excited to say at this point that I've got some good people lined up. You know, I've obviously got Bex, who runs the ACH. She's a full-time artist, you know, creates things left and right. He's absolutely outstanding at it. I've managed to rope Kev into doing it, you know, full-time content creator. That's fantastic. I've got Matt, who is a Microsoft MVP and like world-class programmer and works on video games and so forth. I've got someone who's making an indie game and it looks outstanding, and she works at a game dev team, and her job is very much around the creative art side of that. And then I've got someone who works for a publisher, does like children's books and that kind of thing. So they're all a mixture of quite creative jobs, but they're all very different. Some of them might sound a little bit similar, but they're actually quite distinguishably different, like in the way they go about them. And I'm excited that there's 5 there. I can talk to people that are already off the bat quite interesting and exciting jobs. If anyone's got any people they wouldn't mind sort of recommending to me, don't make it awkward by tagging them in. Don't be like, say it was Kev. Oh, Kev, why don't you be part of this? Because A, they might not want to. B, I might not have space for them. Or, I don't know, like, I might look and be like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I might look and be like, it's not really the vibe we want. But just tell me and I'll go and approach them. And if I don't approach them, it's not because of the vibe. It's because that was a joke. It's because I might not have room, or I might not think they want to. I might be like, I'm scared. Pie in the sky. Like I'm like, what's his name from Prison Break? Wentworth Miller. He's autistic. He's also a world famous TV actor. Might give him a nudge. Might give him a cheeky email and see if he fancies coming on and telling us how he got into acting. See if it's on his radar enough that he wants to take part. Don't think he will, but I might do. I've got to do a lot of punty emails like that. I'm trying to see whether I can get anyone to sponsor it. I'm sort of thinking if there's any companies out there who'd be willing to throw a bit of money at each episode to be like, this episode is sponsored by so-and-so. That would be cool. But beyond that, no, it's exciting. And we're doing it as part of the festival. The episodes will all come out in April. It'll be, I won't release them like weekly. It'll be a bit of a like, I don't know, mate. I haven't thought about this, but it might be like Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like that in a loop. And then, they'll all come out in the order they come out, kind of thing. They're only half hour a pop. Should be fun. It will be exciting interviewing Kev on a podcast where I'm the host and he's the guest. That's going to be bizarre. And I just feel like, it's very exciting to just be doing something that is in that space and is championing autistic workers and showing that basically the theme for the whole festival is misconceptions. And that's one of the ones that we aren't able to work or can't have careers and stuff like that. And I just want to showcase all the awesome things that people have done. So that's cool. We're also inching closer to our plans with a Kickstarter, although we need to formally plan that out. That's exciting because I've always wanted to do one. I just also don't want to, I'm conscious that I don't want to break Bex. Her hand is playing up and I'm like, please don't break yourself. Like, I'd rather we didn't quite make our targets and you were healthy and able to draw more in future than we broke your hand and then we can't do any more because we rushed. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather we were sensible. But it's all good. And same with me. I don't really want to break myself. Although I'm fine. If I can sort out these stupid tablets, I'm generally in a good place. Like, I'm still trying to focus on the fact I'm not anxious anymore, and that is glorious. I'm still trying to focus on the fact work is nice and busy, and that is glorious. I finally got like commission this month that I've been waiting for ages. That means that the kitchen is not quite the dramatic investment. It was starting to feel like we'd committed to a kitchen that I was like, things are not being paid when they should be, like not for anyone's fault, but I was just like, I need one of these to come in just so that I know. And now one of them's come in. I'm like, okay, cool. No, not to go too much information, but now I'm a bit like, okay, cool. The kitchen is a go. We can do that. Deadlines had to be met for paying people to do certain jobs, and I was getting a bit like, but it's fine. All good otherwise. This is a very me heavy episode, mainly because like Ollie and Ben are fine, Emily and Claire are fine. Emily made us nearly late for school the other day because she's now wearing a little bit of makeup to school, and she ballsed it up, covered herself in the wrong makeup, and then tried to remove it and made a mistake with that. And it was a whole haphazard thing. And I just thought to myself, she is the little girl version of me. She's a 14-year-old girl version of me in every way. Haphazard, random, like slapstick comedy nonsense that you don't know about until I'm going to her, come on, and she's going, wait a minute, and I'm going, oh, you're late, you got a minute to get out the door and get, and then I dropped her off, bang on the door was shut, and she got in the door, and then it was all revealed. I messed up. She borrowed her mum's makeup. She faffed it up. She tried to fix it. She faffed that up. She then had to try and remove it all and start again. And I'm like, why didn't you just call your mum up the first time? And she's like, what she would have done. And I'm like, I never expected her to be the one who would be me. I never expected to be dealing with myself in this form. But she is. It'll be me and her up at 3 a.m. And I'm like, Em, you should be asleep. But she's like, you have work in the morning. And I'm like, yeah, but you have school when I'm an adult, so get to bed. She doesn't say it like that, but it's like the look, the knowing kind of, you wouldn't know I was awake if you weren't awake. And I'm like, you got me, but I'm an adult. God damn it. If the other two turn out like me as well, Clara's got her hair cut out, work cut out. She'll be pulling her hair out, is what I was trying to say. Going to wrap up there. I'm losing the ability to speak. It's been fun talking to you all, though. I feel like just chatting nonsense has helped me feel a bit better. I feel like this morning, just in general, owning all of this has made me feel like immediately back up. Although I have taken the 10. I took a double amount to get me up to 10 as well, which has helped. Which confirms, I guess, that I need to be on the 10 to feel right. But Gonna wrap up. Hope you're all well. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know how your week's been. Just usual comment stuff. Give me ideas of anyone you could recommend that I should talk to. Don't tag them, as I say, because I don't want to make it awkward or weird for anyone. And I will hopefully smash it out of the park with an outstanding podcast that you all absolutely love and adore and share with everyone, because it'd be really cool, wouldn't it? In my head, I've got this pie in the sky fantasy of making a side podcast called Sheepdog Meets, and it just being every episode where it's like just I was telling Emily about this, and it was like Sheepdog Meets Lelujo, and then you fast forward 100 episodes, it's like my actual aim where I want to interview the lead singer and guitarist of The Offspring, Dexter Holland. Sheepdog meets Dexter Holland, and then fast forward another 5 years and it's like Sheepdog meets Barack Obama. So start with Kev, work my way up to one of the United States presidents, and see where I get on in the middle. That's my aim. But that's only if this one goes well. That's my sort of thought process. So everyone needs to listen. Everyone needs to watch Best Thing From. Everyone needs to do everything. I'm asking so much of you. Like, give me all of your time and concentration, please. Hopefully I'm worth it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you all soon. Hope you're well, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.